wisdom or other words to share with the newlyweds. I'm going to pass the mic now to Mr. Heiss, who's going to say some words.
Thank you everybody for coming out. Does that work? Yeah, thank you everybody for coming out here this evening and celebrating with Skyla and Will with the wedding with us. The first time a father sees his daughter, he falls instantly in love. I've been very blessed with 3 great daughters, thanks to my beautiful wife, Becky. Skyla was a handful growing up.
Amen.
She wasn't bad, but she was always adventuresome. That's why Skyla has a collection of x-rays. And she's been in the hospital for multiple concussions. As you can see through the pictures, she liked to water ski, snowboard, bike, ice skate, and if there's something happening, she wanted to be a part of it. She has always had an amazing attitude and resilience. Skyla has always been there to keep me humble. Once I was working on a computer and pressing all the buttons, trying to keep it from crashing, and my daughter looked at me and says, "You should never be in a rocket ship. You just press all the buttons, and even the big red one marked, 'Do not touch.'" But that's Skyla. She's ready to give you some good advice, make you laugh, and bring a ray of sunshine into the situation. Another time, Skyla was making something in the kitchen, and she kept adding more sugar. I told her to stop. It was too much. And she looked at me with those sweet, innocent eyes and said, "I measure it with my heart, and my heart says to pour the rest in." But that's Skyla. She's just measuring it with her heart, and it's always sweet. And that's the way she'll be with Will. When they start dating, she knew it was going to be an all-in thing, and she started dating Will. She measured with her heart, and she was all in. Will, we're grateful and blessed to have you as part of our family. And I'm thankful that your parents did a wonderful job with you, and you're an amazing son. And I know you will be an amazing husband to my daughter. So, Will and Sky, may God bless you always. May He prosper you and keep you, and may your lives always reflect His love. As we toast, every one of us is also blessing this union. So, to Will and Sky. To Will and Sky. Jeanette.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Janae Heiss, and I am the co-maid of honor with my sister Ariana. Our sister Skyla has always been exceptional. She's the light of the room and has the brightest smile. There's a reason one of our nicknames is Sunshine. When we were teenagers, I made up this document called Quote of the Day because of some of the odd, hilarious things that would come out of her mouth. And yes, some of you are also on Quote of the Day, but you usually know who you are. Every so often, I read some of them just to laugh all over again. So today, I'd like to read you a few of her best quotes. First off, the GPS said it had an awesome way to get here. It lied. This quote may apply to a few of you today. Once Skyla had to write a paragraph describing herself. This is what she said. "I would give up gluten just to be healthy, but gosh golly is bread good. I would swim with sharks, but I would not swim with vending machines because statistically they are more likely to kill me. I am a ginger and I'm so pale a Canadian once told me I needed to get more sun." And lastly, an atomic bomb cannot kill you more times than you can already die. And she ended with a smiley face. In 2018, Skyla gave me an instruction about her wedding to write down. She said, at my wedding, instead of having flashbacks of my life playing on a slideshow, play the scene from Batman Ninja, where the monkeys form a giant Batman. As you can see, thankfully, we did not listen to 2018 Skyla. However, Skyla's also said some very intelligent things at times. Once my dad found some sketchy-looking year-old pizza in the back of the freezer. It was Skyla's comment that probably saved us a trip to the emergency room. She said, "Dad, a new pizza from Tony's is $20. The hospital copay is more than that." Who's really winning here? Skyla is so amazing and beautiful and funny. I thank God to have her as my sister. I also thank God that you're my sister too, Ari. I'm so blessed to have both of them, but this is Skyla's big day. And because of that, I would like to talk about Skyla and Will. When they first started to get serious, I will admit that I thought they were moving a little fast. But when Skyla talked to me about Will, she got this bright, wide smile that I've never seen before. And Skyla's always one to laugh and smile. I mean, you can tell from the quote, she's just one that is just amazing. But this was something different. And every time Will would come over to pick her up for a date or to have lunch together, I saw that same smile. Will has helped Skyla to be more joyful than I ever thought was possible. He's helped her through tough times and been there every time she needed it. He's proved himself over and over again to be kind, loyal, and helpful, and he's one of the highest quality people I've ever met. The two of them together have and will continue to accomplish amazing things. So thank you to everyone who has traveled here for Skyla and Will's wedding. Thank you to Mom and Dad for raising Skyla to keep being the cheerful, bubbly person that she is. Thank you to Will's family for helping him to be the one who makes Skyla the happiest I've ever seen her. And thank you, Will, for all that you've done for my family, and for how amazing you've been for my sister. When I saw Skyla's bouquet earlier, it reminded me of the verse, "For you, O Lord, will bless the righteous. You will crown him with favor as his shield." The two of you have been so blessed and favored leading up to this wedding. So, I pray that your marriage is crowned by the Lord's blessing and favor on your lives. And I completely forgot my glass, so I'm going to be right back. Let's raise a glass to the bride and groom.
How do I follow that? I'm not sure. All right. All right, I have some of mine and Will's, let's say, wild adventures over the years. So yeah, let's just get started here. So if you don't know who I am Cody, the best man. I've known Will for quite some time. We actually met when we were about 8 years old, and I'll never forget the day we met at church. He came up to me just out of the blue, and I'm shy. Will isn't so shy. He came up to me and was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I'm like, "Cody." He's like, "I'm Will." And then he asked how old I was. I said 8. And I'm like, "That's odd, I'm 8 too." And then he's like, "When's your birthday?" I'm like, "June 24th. He's like, "No way, mine's June 25th. And then, little did we know, we were actually born in the same hospital, just 9 hours apart. Funny thing, that hospital isn't even standing anymore, and I like to think they tore it down because the world couldn't handle the chaos we were about to bring into it. Now, Will and I have had our fair share of adventures, and by adventures, I mostly mean crazy ideas that Will convinced me to go along with. Like the time he decided we should make flamethrowers when we were about 12. What could go wrong? He discovered that spray paint was flammable, so we lit it up, and next thing I knew, our friend Danny that we were doing this with accidentally torched my entire arm, and I had some pretty bad burns, so thank you, Will, for putting that idea into all of our minds. It was a blast besides the arm burn, but. Or take the time he decided to turn his Ford Focus into a Jankytown Jeep. He took all the doors off and we drove around town like it was the most normal thing in the world. Like we would look at people when they would look back at us, we're like, what are you looking at? Like, there's nothing wrong here. The reactions, we would go through drive-thrus, and honestly, they would be like, what the heck is even going on? We're just like, can we have our order, please? And we just drive off. It was great. And Will's love for cars didn't stop there. His first, I believe it was your first truck, the Chevy 1500. Okay. Will had the bright idea, again, great idea, to paint it neon orange. But instead of doing it professionally, we were like, oh, we can do it ourselves. This is a great idea. So Will went and bought like 15 cans of spray paint from Walmart, I think it was. And we sat there all afternoon just spray painting this truck neon orange, and I swear we got high off that stuff because everything was funny. I mean, everything was funny. So, yeah. Then, of course, there's Will's passion for road trips to meet women. This guy would start chatting with a girl on a Tuesday, and by Friday, he'd be driving 10 hours to meet her. Michigan, Nebraska, North Carolina, you name it, Will covered the entire country. But, after all those long-distance trips, it turns out that the love of his life, Skyla, was just a few miles away the whole time. It's funny how God works, right? And speaking of long-distance trips, this is kind of wild. There was this time me and Will kind of had a falling out, and we didn't speak for like 2 years, like at all. And then Will, after like about 2 years, just texted me, hey, you want to go to the Grand Canyon? And I'm like, what? So within about 3 days, he could... It sounds crazy, but I mean, it happened. He's like, don't worry about gas, I've got it. You just pay for your food. And then I was like, all right. So I get in the car and we left, I think Sunday night. We got to the Grand Canyon Tuesday night and we like just looked at the scene, I guess. I mean, what are two guys gonna do at the Grand Canyon? We were like, okay, let's get a room and then rest up and then we'll come out in the morning. We wake up and there's just snow covered the ground. We could barely see maybe 100 feet, probably. So then, what do two normal dudes do? We go and build a snowman on the edge of the Grand Canyon, and we call him, I think it was Kind Eyes Gary. I think it was his name. That was Will's name for him. Oh, here's another story. And if you think that's wild, there was also the time Will, okay, those of you who know who Will, he likes to dumpster dive. But that kind of came to an end after we met Skyla, which I was thankful about. But we got a dumpster story in here. So we ended up at Panera Bread one Saturday evening. And at Panera Bread, they throw entire bags of bread that's left over into the dumpster. Well, we were like, oh, let's take it. I was there, I did participate. So we got like these two huge bags of leftover bread. And what did we do with it? Well, we threw it at each other. We had a bread fight with quite a few people actually. There was like 10 of us there. Oh, it was stupid, but it was fun. Oh my goodness. But for all of Will's wild ideas, there's something even more important that I need to tell you about him. Will is one of the most loyal, hardworking, and caring people I know. If you were to call him at 3 a.m. and tell him you were stranded, he'd be there. If you needed him dragging a deer out of the woods, he'd show up and maybe take a little bit of the meat, but he'd be there. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 through 10, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. And that's Will through and through. He's always been the guy to lift you up when you need it most. And now, Will has found the person who will be there to lift him up the rest of his life. Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord." Will, you have definitely found what is good in Skyla. You've been a loyal friend, and I know you'll be even more devoted husband. Skyla, you are marrying a man with a heart of gold. He's been by my side through everything, and I know he'll do the same for you. Another verse says, Ephesians 5:25, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Will, I know you'll love, protect, and cherish Skyla with the same loyalty you've always shown to everyone around you. And Skyla, in all the time I've known Will, he's never said anything negative about you. Your love has made him the happiest I've ever seen him, and I can genuinely say that because we've been around the ringer. In words of 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient, love is kind, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. I know your love will reflect all of this as you grow together in your marriage. So let's raise a glass to Will and Skyla. May your marriage be filled with adventure, loyalty, and above all, the blessings of God. To Will and Skyla.
I don't know why you guys are clapping because I didn't prepare a speech. I had over a year to prepare a speech, but she kept me so busy, I didn't know what I was doing. So, actually, like earlier today, I hid over here and tried to write something, so bear with me. It goes a little everywhere. No. Okay. So, for those who may have zoned out earlier, I'm Ariana, or Ari. Just call me Ari, that works better. Okay. I'm the youngest sister. I have two bold, courageous sisters, and they have taught me everything besides my parents. Sorry. Okay. But we're only here for one, so I got to talk about really fun stories with you and how you got me in a lot of trouble. And I'm kidding. Okay. Well, some of you might not know, but Skyla's actually a bit of a con artist back in her younger days. You know, when she was like 8 and decided that, doing chores at Nana's was like beneath her and she could have her younger sister do it. Guess how she conned me into going down into the dark basement, which I was terrified of, with shiny pennies. I don't know how, okay? I really don't know how. She convinced me that they were more expensive than other pennies. So I had a whole bunch of, I don't even know where they went to. I think she kept on giving me back, like she'll steal them and then give them back to me. I think that's how it worked. But she got exactly what she wanted, and you still get exactly what you want. You don't have to give me shiny pennies anymore. I mean, if you want to. Well, you have brought the smell of onions back into our house. I learned really quick his favorite pizza is onion pizza. I hate onions. I hate the smell of it. But we gotta sacrifice. I'm very grateful to have you as my first brother-in-law. You set a very high standard, and sorry, Janae. Gotta get one better, no kidding. You've always been there for us. You've seen even when I've gone crazy, and you still have not judged it for me. From me. Words. Lost it. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Okay, I'm almost done. I love you, Sissy. You were the best sister. This is really hard. Middle sister, you were the best. You are the best middle sister ever, and I can't wait for you to get done with Will and have our sister sleepover and do little like manicures and stuff. Like, I'm excited for that. I really am. I'm gonna be like sneaking into your school bus now and kicking Will out and be like, nope, take your onion pizza. We got the pineapple one now. So let's raise a glass to this beautiful couple. I'm sorry I don't have any nice, ending speech here. Everyone had it beautifully. So I think all the words have been said. You guys are the best couple here. All you guys talk. No. So let's raise a glass. I love you.
Thank you.
You are the best.